It was on Friday night, and me and my friends were hanging out, and my friend came up to me and she's like, "Lainey, can you give me a ride home? Like, I don't have anyone else to take me. I really need you to take me home." And I'd only had my license for probably 3 months, and I didn't even really think about it. I was just like, "Oh yeah, no problem," like just doing a favor for my friend. Like, didn't think anything was gonna happen. So I was driving home, back roads, kind of downtown Danville. Like, all of a sudden I see these lights behind me, and I just like froze. I'm sitting there, and like the cop's behind me with his lights on, and he walks up to my car window, and he's like, "Okay, like, do you know why you're getting pulled over?" And I was like, "No," and I was like, I just could like barely talk, and he's like, "Hey, you were speeding, like you're going 63 and a 40, and I couldn't even believe it. He asked for my license, registration, and proof of insurance. I gave it to him. He's like, "Who's this in your car with you?" I wanted to say like my cousin or my family or something. I was like, "Oh no, it's my friend." And he's like, "Okay, well, like, you know, you haven't had your license for a year," and that kind of stuff. I was like, "Yeah." And so basically he's like, "Okay, I just gave you 2 tickets, like one for speeding and one for your license, and like you're gonna have to go to court." I didn't even really know what was gonna happen, and so I went to court. And that was like really scary too, because like you walk in and you just like feel like a criminal. Like, everyone's looking at you like, I wonder what she did. So I ended up having to go to court like 3 times, and like I got my license taken away for a month. I had to do 37 hours of community service, and then they have like this provisional license program that I had to go like with my parents. I went there for 3 hours, and it was just like a really big deal. Like, I never would have thought like that would have happened to me. Like, I never would have thought I would spend my whole summer like doing community service and like not be able to like drive, and like I'd just gotten my license and I just got taken away. So it was like really hard, but I learned my lesson.
I was in a car accident this summer, and I was having a friend of a friend drive me home from a pool party, and my friend and I were in the car, and we found out the driver likes to speed. So we were on the highway going about 110. Then we got to this one street called Paraiso, and he decided that he wanted to speed down the road because there's a long stretch of the road, and he ran a stop sign, and we hit a dip in the road at 70, which means that the car was flying up a little bit, and we headed straight towards a tree, but he jerked the wheel around, and we went to the other side of the street and hit a cement mailbox, sending the top flying 30 feet away, and the car was totaled, and I got a concussion, and one of my friends almost died. If you don't know how they drive and you're not really well acquainted with them, I wouldn't get into a car with them, because you never know what they'll do to try to impress you.
The bell rang after school, and my sister and I were ready to go home. We carpooled together, and so we walked out to our car, and we walked with our friend to his truck. And we parked behind Dell, so we're going out towards Danville Boulevard. As we were sitting there, a car blasting their music, just all these teenage guys in there were just being crazy. And my friend tried to merge in front of them, and they just went crazy and started getting really angry, and they threw garbage in the back of his truck, started yelling at him out the window. So I called him up, and I'm like, "Hey man, they're doing some stuff to your car, just letting you know in case you couldn't see." And he's like, "Okay, it's fine, I'm just gonna ignore it." We kept going, and as a coincidence, all 3 of us ended up going on the freeway. So we're all going on the freeway, and they pulled up on his side window, and they started yelling at him out the window, and my sister and I were behind him in our car. And they leaned out the window, and the passenger threw out a glass bottle at the side of his car, and it smashed all over his windshield, and pieces of it reflected onto our car and cars behind us and on the side. If my sister hadn't been focused, it could have scared her, and we could have merged into another lane and hit another car, and worst of all, my friend could have been hurt. We were lucky that the car got off the freeway, and we got their license plate number and called the cops, but nothing could really be done. My advice is just to be careful when on the road and don't give in to road rage.
My junior year, after my first varsity football game ever and our welcome back dance, I was driving to meet up with some of my friends not too far away from our school. It's down the street on Dalbo Road. I was driving down alone, driving the speed limit, you know, under the curfews, seatbelt on, doing everything right. And I stopped at a stoplight, waited for the green arrow, made a left, and as I was turning, I saw lights kind of down the road, and I figured someone was pulling up at the light, but I guess they were moving faster than I thought. Came and hit me on the passenger side door, and my car ended up flipping over and kind of got on the air and landed in the parking lot of the restaurant. I went over to the lady. I said, "I'm all right. Are you okay?" She said she's fine. Police showed up after a couple minutes, fire trucks, ambulance, and asked us questions, got statements, asked if we were okay, and miraculously everyone was fine. And eventually a cop came up to me and said that the lady smelled like alcohol, which I thought I noticed earlier, but I wasn't sure. About 10 minutes later, the cops came up to me and said that she passed the field sobriety test and denied a breathalyzer, which we didn't know you could do, and she was free because they can't prove that she was drunk, and nothing could happen. So ended up with no witnesses, that they couldn't prove that it was my fault or hers. We didn't get any reimbursement for the car or anything. You can't expect everyone to stop. You kind of be aware of who's coming, where they are, if they're gonna stop or not. You just got to be really heads up on the road.